Banks are failing. Bitcoin's pumping. What's going on in this world? Coming out, a few warnings about why Bitcoin is pumping, and it's not good. Also, we're going to find out another bank is in trouble, and we're going to go over that. Close this weekend. Next on OG Crypto and NFTs. Welcome, everyone. My name is Troy, and every day we go over the latest news in the digital assets, cryptocurrencies, as well as non-fungible tokens, NFTs. Now, before we jump into it, really helps our channel out. Please hit that subscribe button right there. There we go. There we go. All right. So let's jump into it right away. We just saw that Bitcoin had just been struggling now for a while. It even went under 20,000 and 19,000s. Everybody was fearful. And then all of a sudden we saw not Grayscale, I keep saying Grayscale, Silvergate Bank just hit the skids and was liquidated last week. Then we saw, the Silicon Valley Bank, which had some crypto holdings in it. We know that Circle had theirs. We know Ripple had some money in it as well. And they went down, and all of a sudden, everyone got into fear. There was runs on banks. There was even talks about run on bank on Monday. I know there were lines out here in Southern California. People were pulling their money out of banks. It was even in the rain. I saw all kinds of pictures of it. People just are fearful, and it's their money and it's their livelihood. Well, what happened was yesterday the government came in. They said all depositors will be made whole on SVB. And so all of a sudden, the narrative just kind of switched to, oh my God, the banking system's over, and to, oh, everybody wants to go into Bitcoin, right? Oh, it's a safe haven. Guys, I will say this once, say it 100 times. Bitcoin is not a safe haven. You can go into it. It is a well-infested cesspool of manipulation. And until enough retail understands it and understands that big banks and financial institutions cannot get into this because it is too manipulated, because the price goes up and the price goes down, because it just takes a few whales to throw a few dollars up there and even fake trade it, ghost trade, and then all of a sudden, you have this crazy up and down movement. Now, when we want to get to the bottom of this, it really hurts us. No government out there is going to accept Bitcoin as a currency. Why? Number one, can't control it. Number two, can't tax it, right? Number three, it's always going to be on wallets that will not be able to be named, so you can't even, you could track it, but you just don't know who identifies the identity of that. It's just not going to be accepted. But that narrative by whales that continue to come out, and they just run the narrative on Bitcoin, and it's so pathetic. We just see people get all excited. Oh, the bull run is back, and then they get trashed. I mean, the largest in quite a while, short squeezes was this morning. Come on, everyone goes, oh, the whole market's gonna fall, it's gonna collapse. Nobody wants to go into crypto. The Bitcoin shorts got crushed this morning. And that's what typically happens. When there's too many people on one side, the whales manipulate on the other side. They can not only crush it, but they can also get other people excited about it, get the price up, and then when they want to, they just sell it off. It's just an ugly cycle that we live in an unregulated area, and it's going to continue to happen until we get regulation on it. Even over the weekend, there were several different exchanges selling Bitcoin at enormously different prices, some up to $800 difference. Again, it just has that. I mean, so many people were taking money, were buying Bitcoin on one exchange and then selling it on the other exchange. Just doesn't make sense. That's not how this should be. That we should be looked like as professionals or something other than just a bunch of scammers going and doing all these crazy things just to make a few bucks. That isn't how this needs to work. If we want adoption from countries and from serious financial institutions to get Bitcoin up to $250,000, $1 million, it can't be this little, stepping over the dollar to get to the friggin' nickels. That's what whales are doing. They're not wanting it to adopt until it's time where they can make all the money, but they're going to trash you retailers out all the time. And what's happened here? Boom. IMF comes out today and they're tired of it. It says IMF had warned G20 widespread crypto use would impact banks. That's what they're saying. It's a narrative, guys. It's a narrative. They're saying there's nothing good about Bitcoin. You can sit there all day. It's decentralized. The four Satoshis met with, the government already, right? Homeland Security. It's already on tape. The government knows who this is. All you have to do is just say, oh yeah, these are the guys that actually formed Bitcoin, and you're going to see Bitcoin go all the way down and get crushed. And who knows? We already know that the federal government already took money out of their main wallet, and now they've put 7,000 Bitcoin into Coinbase and another 39,000 into a new wallet, in which looks like it will feed into Coinbase. So the manipulation just continues to go here and there. Guys, don't get sucked into it. It's just, unless you're a professional trader, the charts do not make sense. Doesn't make sense. You can't chart it going up and going down because it's just being manipulated. It doesn't make, and you're seeing now the world is getting tired of it as well, right? They're going to say, hey, your financial system's going to hurt because Bitcoin is just floating out there doing nothing but being manipulated, and people are getting sucked into it. All right, let's get off of that. We talked about Signature yesterday. It closed. New York regulators closed it down. That was the second. It became from the second largest crypto bank to the first largest crypto bank for about 4 days, and then it gets eliminated. I think everyone's going to. I think it's called Creek. Creek Bank. That's now the largest. I know a lot of people have. A lot of big companies like Coinbase. They had to pivot off of Signature. They had to pivot off of all these, the two major banks, Silvergate, and to get in these smaller banks. I don't know if the smaller banks can handle so much volume and so much money. It's getting crazy, but it's Operation Choke Point. That's what 2.0, that's what the government's doing, trying to shake out as many people out of crypto before they allow their big boy banks and financial institutions to come in and suck this up. Then they're going to regulate it. Then it's going to the moon. Yes, 2025 is typically the year of the bull market. It's every 4 years. It really gets kicked off about a year from now when Bitcoin halving, which is more hype than it is helping the market. It's a hype moment. And then from there, we float a little bit in 24. And then at the very end of 24, we start to see the market, wind up. Now, is this really a real thing? I don't know. In the last 2-3 cycles, that's exactly what's happened. But again, that just seems like manipulation again. And it just doesn't seem real. Why would every 4 years would that happen? Especially in a environment in which the government continues to print money all during that time. Now the government stopped printing money. Quantitative easing is over. It's quantitative tightening. So a lot going on. I know I'm rambling here. I can hear my producer Emmy breathe hard, like, move on, pal. So let's move on. All right, I'm bringing Emmy on this one. How you doing, producer Emmy?
Here I am. Hello.
There we go.
Hi.
Pokemon company's looking to hire someone with NFT knowledge. This is an interesting. I want to say before I let you just go ramble on forever. Pixie Jars, the creator, a female creator out of Australia, who's done a fantastic job. And you've seen the Pixie Jars, right?
Yeah, I have.
So this month, she's made 2 Pixie Jars with 2 different Pokemon characters.
That's cool.
So maybe I might just tell her to look at this.
Maybe so. This job is based if you are in Washington.
Just a little south.
I don't know if that will work. Specifically, if you are in Renton, Washington, and you have knowledge of NFTs and you are looking to work for the Pokemon company, they do have a full-time job that was.
So Renton's just south of Seattle, right? It's a very so I wonder if they're looking for someone in-house, like to bring them in, not like work from
it kind of sounds remotely. Like it's in person, but I'm not sure. I haven't given a ton of specifications, and I didn't find the actual listing. But it's kind of interesting. They're offering health insurance, no degree required, apparently.
Hey, that's me. I have no health and I have no degree.
So if you're looking to work for Pokemon, maybe this is your chance.
This is very interesting. I mean, back in the 80s and 90s, Pokemon was red hot. It was one of
90s,
the
90s specifically.
the cartoon game, on cards, right?
Yep, it was
And so it got really, really popular. And then Pokemon, whatever that next phase was about 7-8 years ago, where they had Pokemon characters.
Pokemon Go. Because the game came out, yeah.
I gotta say, this company is smart enough to keep it going now. NFTs is the next thing. So
oh yeah, no, I feel like Pokemon has been very smart about revolutionizing their product so it stays applicable with whatever the current trends are. So this is just another example of that. I just think it's kind of funny that this is like news. Like a lot of people are talking about this, so I was a little amused by the news. Let's just say that. Okay, can you read this for them?
Can you tell me how to get to Sesame Street? Sesame Street to launch first NFTs with Vivi, which is where all the superheroes are at, right?
Yeah.
Batman and Disney and stuff.
The Marvel stuff, yeah.
Starting with Cookie Monster digital collectibles at $60. So exclusively, so that means it won't be on OpenSea or Rarible or any other place. It'll only be on Vivi.
So I think it's very interesting that they're opening with a lower price point, especially when you put it up against some of the other collections that are of this stature when they first come out. So I feel like an average price point is usually about $100 to $250. So I feel like them specifically making this a lower price point is in hopes that children might want them.
So what happens on Vivi, they like to do this a lot. So what they'll do is they'll have a collection of, let's say, Cookie Monster there. Then they'll make the Cookie Monster in gold. And they'll make less of those. And they'll make them in silver and less of them. So they have like these rarities going in and it keeps going up in price. That's what they did on the comic books with Superman and Fantastic Four and others.
So it looks like there's going to be 5,555 of these.
And later this year.
Yeah, later this year, again at $60 each. Yeah, that's all the details they've really given us so far.
Yeah, so I actually like it that they're putting on Vivi.
Yeah.
Vivi, you can go right now and download the Vivi app. I got a couple of Disney collectibles on there I bought. I really want to get into the comic books. I don't know if they'll ever be worth anything, but I got to think the physical comic books would be for guys like me, right?
Yeah.
And it would be like people like you who didn't get into the next version of those, because Marvel is still relevant, right?
Marvel's very relevant. They're actually about to have a really good year launching a few more movies, a few that are very highly anticipated. So I do see these collectibles gaining more value over time, especially because the kids of today are going to think of these movies as being their childhood. So the way that a lot of people in their 30s like me are buying kids toys, I think it's going to continue, and not only continue strongly, but get even crazier.
Right.
I think nostalgia, the selling of nostalgia and your childhood things you love,
right? They're
only going to maximize that.
Right.
So,
and God, how many years has Sesame Street been on?
Shit, as long as I've been alive.
As long as I've been alive.
Yeah,
I mean,
Really?
Yes.
You had Sesame Street as a kid?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I'm literally got to think it's 60, 70 years of Sesame Street. I mean, obviously there's probably an evolution of it, but the Cookie Monster's been around forever. Bert and Ernie, Ernie and Bert, they've been around forever. I mean, I watched it when I was a little kid.
We're just going to continue to see this more and more and more with all the classic things. This is all, it's just, they're all adopting faster and faster and faster.
Right. So, well, guys, thank you very much for joining us today. We really appreciate it. If you're owning Bitcoin, watch out.
Watch out.
Otherwise, we will see you tomorrow in another action-packed, fun video on YouTube.
Bye.